So a friend on here told me that soon he's going to be a new papa. And so even though he wants to remain anonymous, I will say congratulations again to him, and I will honor his request for books about parenting, especially because I have one story that completely changed my life. I also have a stack of kids' books, books about children here, and here are some best of that I'll also go over. But the one thing I'll say is, kids are great. I've loved kids my whole life, and when I was younger, I thought I was going to have tons of them. Then I decided I wasn't going to have any. And then finally I was in New York, I wrote some books that nobody was reading, and we happened to get pregnant, and it's like, oh, now here's the next thing to be doing. And I think my father defines it best, because I don't think anybody needs to have kids, but he says that there are some lessons that are much easier to get when you have children, and that some of us might not reach otherwise. But those lessons can be learned in any way. Kids are just a really easy way to teach you something. You know, they say you get as much out of the relationship. My kids are only 5 and 1. And I already have learned so much. And we're not even to the stage where like going out in the world and bringing me new ideas, which has been fun to watch with my parents, who have been very open to learning from us, which is a cool thing. It makes us feel valued. So for me, as a new parent, I had our firstborn on my chest. It was at an outdoor bar in Colorado. I was just sitting there reading. She was sleeping. That's the best part about the first 3 months, what they call the fourth trimester, when it's kind of like the baby's still in the womb. You can just read. I read my first taste of Roman history. I pounded through like 3 or 4 Roman history books in those 3 months because I had a baby constantly sleeping on my chest. So I just read. It was great. It gets more challenging after that. But I was sitting there reading this book, and we had trouble with her crying. You know, and we kept always trying to stop her from crying. And so all of a sudden this older woman walks by. She kind of stops and thinks about it and comes back, and she says to me, "I'm a midwife. I had all the books, and finally I threw all the books away and kept one book. You should get that one book." And that book she told me about was Tears and Tantrums by Dr. Aletha Solter. And that book changed everything for me. The simple part of the book is it's really good for kids to cry. It's a discharge. Don't try to stop them with a pacifier or like telling them to be quiet or soothing them. Sit there and just hold them. That's why I'm glad I did so many psychedelic drugs in my life. It very much prepared me for being a parent. Just sat there and let this kid emote. They need to be crying. You don't know why. They can't tell you, but they need to. And just sit there and you let them cry. And if they get out their discharge of 5, maybe 10 minutes tops, they sleep so much better at night. I mean, it changed everything. The kid was having trouble sleeping and not being kind of grouchy, and once she got the discharges out, it changed everything. So Tears and Tantrums is the first book. There'll be a part 2.